Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you how easy it is to cut a bling file in Cricut. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe so that you'll be able to see more content as it becomes available. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is share my screen. Okay, this is the screen as it looks in Cricut. And so what you will need to do is upload your file that you want to cut. And I already have the file uploaded that I want to work with. But if you did not have the file already, what you would need to do is go here to upload image, and then you will click the browse. My computer is a little slow. And then you would want to select your file from wherever you have it. And my template is in the rhinestone file. And it's the very first one that says Big Pisces Energy Rhinestone. So I'm going to go in here and then I will just select this SVG and click open. And then what that will do is upload the file into Cricut, and then I will just click upload. And so once it's uploaded, then you will just click on the file and click add to canvas. Okay, now it has been added to the canvas. So the next thing you want to do is make sure that your circles are the correct size for the stones that you're going to use. And this file is made for the SS10 stones. So one circle for an SS10 stone should be 0.13 by 0.13. And so since this has two different colors, what I'm going to do now is duplicate this file. Okay, now it has been duplicated. So now what I'm going to do is drag one over to the side. And the reason why I duplicated this file is because there's two different colors. So what I'm going to do is delete the colors out of each one that I do not need, and then add them back together. So first I'm going to go over here, select this file again, and I want to ungroup it. So once I click this, it's going to ungroup it. So what I want to do is take all of the blue pieces out. I'm trying to click off of it so it'll deselect everything. I guess my computer is slow. Or maybe because there's so many pieces, so many dots, it's taking a while to ungroup everything. Okay, so now that it has ungrouped everything, see how I'm able to select these individual dots. So what I want to do is take all of the blue dots out. I'm going to try something here. See if this is going to work. I should have started at the bottom. Okay, so it's taking a while for it to catch up. So what I'm going to do is hold my shift key and select the blue. I don't know why I didn't select those. And when I hit delete on my keyboard, the ones that I just selected should disappear. Okay, so it did. A quicker way to do that is to try to select them in a group and then just hit delete to delete those out. Okay, once it refreshes, then I can go ahead and delete the rest. Okay, I'm going to delete those. I don't know why it's not selected on when I hold the shift key down. But slowly and surely, we're going to get them deleted. Okay, it's taking a minute to delete those. I'm trying to highlight these without touching the pink ones. See if it'll let me highlight these. Okay, and it did. So now I'm going to hit my delete key again to delete those. I'm not sure where this one is. Okay. So I'm just holding my shift key again to delete those that are around the purple, because I don't want to accidentally delete any of the purple. Okay, now just hit delete to delete those. Now I think I can put a box around these, hopefully. Okay, then hit my delete key. And then again, I'm still trying to delete all the blue. All of the blue I'm trying to delete. Okay, I got that. And I'm going to select this one and the next three. Being careful not to get the purple. And then I'm going to repeat the same steps for the other side. So now that I've gotten all of the blue out of this one, what I want to do is put a box around it. And this is how you size to make sure that your holes are big enough for your SS10s once the file is cut out. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to combine it. So weld. So what I'm going to do, go down here, select weld. Okay, so this is all welded together now. No matter where I click, it's going to put a box around the whole thing. These are all welded together. So what I'm going to do next is go over to my contour. And it may take a minute because it's going to pull all the dots that's in this inside of this square. Okay, so it's just now collecting the dots, and it's going to take a minute because that's a lot of dots. Okay, and once all the dots have populated, it should show big energy. Okay, it shouldn't be much longer. Okay, there it is, the big integer. So now what you want to do is hide all contour. So it's going to take a few minutes to hide all of those. So you see how it disappeared over here? So what I want to do now is select that one dot that's still showing over here. So now I'm going to close this. And what I wanted to check is the size of this dot. So as I said before, a SS10 should be 0.13 by 0.13, which is what it's showing here. So I'm not sure why it's showing 12.25 up here. But I'm going to go up here and I'm going to also change this one to read 0.13. So I'm going to unlock the lock and I'm just going to change this to a 13. I'm changing both boxes to 13. Then I'm going to lock it back. So now next what I'm going to do is go back over to my contour. And it's going to take a minute to pull it back up. And then once it populates all of the dots, then I'm just going to click on Show All Contours. And once I do that, all the dots should be the same size. Okay, it's taking a few minutes to bring the dots back. But whenever you're bringing templates in, you always want to make sure that you're checking to see if your dots are the correct size. So this is going to cut into two files because you have two different colors. So now I'm going to show all contour and this should bring this back on the screen. Okay. And then I'm just going to close that out. So this one is ready. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this one over here on this side. I'm going to delete all of the purple on this side. So I'm going to ungroup this one. And it's going to take a few minutes to ungroup all those dots. Okay, it's taking its time. Okay, so now I've ungrouped this file. So what I'm going to do on this side is delete out the purple or pink dots. So I'm just going to click off it so that it can get rid of that box around it. Okay, so now I'm going to delete all of these purple or pink dots. And this one shouldn't take as long as the other one did, but also pay attention to where that pink integrates with the blue, because when I put this back together, we want it to still look like this. Okay, so now I'm going to put a box around the majority of this pink at the bottom so that I can delete it. Okay, and then just hit my delete button, and it's going to take a few minutes to get rid of all of these dots. Okay, so the other ones, I'm just going to select them once they populate back over on the side. My mouse don't want to act right now. Okay, so I'm just selecting all of these pink dots so that I can delete them. I'm not sure what all it has. Okay, so it's doing it from up here in the G. Okay, let me go down here and just click on one of these. And let's see what we get. Okay, so now these are, I'm in the right area now. Okay, so now I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to select another one. Okay, and holding down my shift key, I'm just selecting these pink dots on the side. And hopefully that'll be all of those. It left two. Okay, so now I'm going to select these two and delete those. And then I'm going to try to get rid of all of this at the top, or as close down to the blue as I possibly can. Okay, and we're going to delete those. And then just click on these last five. And delete those. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with this as we did with the big energy. Going to put a box around it and then weld it. Okay, next I'm going to select this and then go over to my contour and check the dots for this. This one should be correct because the other one was correct. It was 0.13. So this these should also be the same size. But I'm going to check them just to make sure. Once upon a time, everyone was always saying that you had to have silhouette in order to cut bling, but now you can also do it with your Cricut. They've figured out a way to be able to do it in your Cricut as well, and you can also create files in your Cricut too. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is hide all contours. Okay, so those disappeared, and I'm going to select this, close this. Okay, see, this is 0.13 by 0.13 inches. So I'm going to change it up here. I don't know why this one keeps reading 12.25, but I'm going to change it to 0.13. Uh-oh, that one didn't stay. Oh, I guess it's just slow. Okay, so now we got that at 0.13 up here. So now I'm going to go back to my contour. And you also want to make sure when you're cutting your flock that you have a sharp, uh, your cutting blade is sharp. Always want to make sure that your cutting blade is sharp and that it has no dust or lint or other vinyl that has caked up on it. So you want to make sure that you're taking your blade out and checking it to make sure it is clean and vinyl free, because it has to be sharp in order to go through that flock. And I will show you what I have my settings on for the flock. Okay, so now go back to show all contours, and then you can just close that. Okay, so now we have the pink part of the design, and then we have the blue part of the design. So now you can either put it back together or you can leave it as is, because it's going to cut in two separate files. But you just need to remember how it goes whenever you get ready to put it together to press it. So what I normally do before I cut it is put a box around it, so that whenever it cuts out, it's going to cut it out in a square, and it'll be easy for you to lift it and put it on your cutting mat or whatever you're going to use when you're doing your bling. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select the square because I want to put a box around each one of these files. Okay, so I'm just going to drag it out and up. So that should be big enough to fit around big energy. So what I'm going to do now is select big energy and the square. So I pressed down my control key and I selected the square and big energy. So next I'm going to go down here and hit slice. Okay, so it just sliced that out. So now when I move this over, This is what I'm going to use. I'm sorry. This is what I'm going to use right here as my template. So once it cuts it out, it's also going to cut this box out. Okay. Okay. So don't do what I just did. I accidentally resized it, but I hit my undo button, so it's back to the size that it was originally, because that could mess up your circles and they may not fit your S your SS10 stones. Okay, so now what I'm going to do for this over here, you can either delete it or just click the little eye to hide it, because you're not going to need it anymore. Well, I'm going to delete this one, 'cause I don't want that one. And I'm going to just hide this one. Okay, so now I have my box ready over here for this one. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the Pisces. I'm going to put a box around it, but it'll probably be a rectangle because of the shape of the Pisces. So I'll just go ahead and grab the rectangle instead of the square and just drag it out. I didn't want it that big, so let me unlock this. So I don't want it that big. I just want it to cover the Pisces. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, since the rectangle is already selected, I'm going to hold my control key and go down and select Pisces. So with both of those selected, now I'm able to slice it. Okay, so here it is. This is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to get rid of the gray one. I'm going to delete that one. And then I'm just going to hide the other one. Okay, so now I have these two boxes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go over to make, and it should be two individual files. But it could cut on the same one, but you just know that one is one color. One you're going to use for one color, whatever color you want it to be, and then the other one you're going to use for your other color. So it doesn't have to be the color that was on the that is showing. You can use any stones you want in these. Okay, so here's the big energy, and then you have your Pisces down here. And then it's going to cut that box around it. See the white line here? It's going to cut that box around this. So the next thing you want to do is continue. And I think I needed to cut my machine back on so that I can show you on here what needs to be done. So I don't think it'll let me go to the vinyl without that. And you also want to have your dial wheel turned to custom so that it will allow you to select uh, the cutting the cutting preference that you want. this ain't no device found. Let me see. Maybe I need to cut it on. Okay. So now it has found my device. Okay. So then what you would do is go in here and select Browse All Materials. And then you can go down. And this is my material here. This is my rhinestone template that I made. And the way you would create this is go down to where it says Material Settings. I'm not sure if it'll let me open this up so that you can see what I got in here. No, it's not going to let me check here. See. Material settings. Okay. So now let's look for the rhinestone template. And see, all these have what pressure they're set at. I'm not sure if you all knew that, but here's where you can find the pressure settings. So I'm going to go down to rhinestone template, which is what I named it. Right here. So my pressure is on 300. And I have it set to make 2 passes on this. So that's what that 2x means, that it's going to cut it twice. But normally, from what I've been experiencing, I only have to do 1 pass. Because I always make sure I'm checking my blade to make sure that it is sharp. And so I guess this pressure of 300 is enough to cut that flock. But these are your settings for the rhinestone template. And then you want to make sure it says fine point blade. And here's where you would go in and put your settings for your rhinestone flock. You would just hit add material and then just go in and put that 300, and then you can leave it off so to just do 1 pass, or you can put the 2x means you want it to cut 2 times. And then you would just hit done. And you would also name it, give it a name, and then just hit done. And so whenever you are going in to select it, it will go up under your materials, just as mine did. Go down and find my material right here. And then you would just select rhinestone template and done. And so now it is set to do rhinestone. And then here's your pressure here. If you want to add more pressure, you would just go here and select more pressure. But I don't need any more pressure, so I'm leaving it at the default that I've already created. And if it's cutting too deep, you can also change it to less pressure. But this is where you would add to your pressure or delete from your pressure. So I'm going to leave it on my default, which is 300. And then, so now you're ready to cut out your flock. So it's going to cut the blue energy first. I'm sorry, big energy. It's going to cut the big energy first, and then it's going to cut the Pisces. And if you have a 24-inch mat, I could have changed this to 24 inches, and it would cut both of them at one time. So that is how you would cut out rhinestone flock. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section. And don't forget on your way out to hit the thumbs up if this video was helpful to you. And also please subscribe to my channel so that you will see new content as it becomes available. And thank you all for watching my video. Thanks.